Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om, peace, peace, peace. Om Bolo Satguru Sivananda Maharaj ki. Shri Swami Hridayananda Maharaj ki. Jai. Om Namah Shivaya. Good evening. Everyone is still alive? Not sure. Everyone is still alive? Someone is like, at least he has capacity to doubt here. Anyone alive? Yeah, thank you. Good. So it's very beautiful. In the chant book, in this little chant book, there are different sections. There is a section of English songs, prayers, and there is also a short section of Hebrew. And this is not because you hear so much the language around the ashram. This is from the time of Swami Hridayananda, just to put things into perspective. And it's very interesting when, at least when I arrived to the organization, we had the universal prayer in English, in French, Spanish, German, and then the Hebrew was added. That's it. I'm talking about 84, 86, when I was at in Canada. But now I stopped counting, like 20 different languages, many of them from Asia. The universe, and also it was translated later on to Arabic. But there are many languages from Asia, the universal prayer at the end of it. So it's very beautiful to see it. And Swamiji was encouraging and inspiring us to communicate through in different ways. So there were the mantras, as we repeat them in Sanskrit, the daily chants and different prayers on different days and so on. But also there's the bhajan, singing, which is more than anything like a prayer, and we can do it in different languages. So what you heard this evening was actually, you know which language? Some of you know. Hebrew. It is said that Sanskrit, Hebrew, I think Tibetan, and maybe ancient Egyptian or something, are languages that are coming from the source. It's not like a change. If you learn, those who learn English go back actually to Sanskrit. Like mind, manas, mind, in English it becomes mind. So there is similarity and it comes from there. But the Sanskrit itself is a language that is directly from the divine. So the combination of the sounds is the thing itself. And therefore it has such a tremendous effect and power on our body, mind, and so on. So we're still on prayer, yeah? Still prayer. Okay. I was almost tempted to sing with you another song in Hebrew and English. But I didn't yet. So this is a prayer that we repeat it within the prayers every day in one form and another. It's a beautiful one. Asatoma Sadgamaya. Please repeat. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya. This is one of the prayers that we're repeating and one of the Shanti prayers. So lead me from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. And if we look at this prayer, we are, pleading, asking the divine to help us to go from the darkness of the mind meaning being ignorant, to reality. Not reality in terms of material that, okay, I see it, therefore it exists. But the reality or the essence from which everything comes into being, into existence, without which nothing manifests. So that reality or that essence is not something tangible. I cannot hold it, I cannot eat it, I cannot touch it. But without it, none of our senses was engaged, and we could not be in the physical form we could not perceive anything with the mind without the essence, because it is part of that, or an expression of that. So we are talking about unity in diversity. The whole world, including us, our mind, body, thought, it is all expression of the one. So here the prayer is, lead me from the unreal to the real. So what, according to the yogis, what is the unreal? What is unreal? Is the microphone real? Not sure, eh? Seemingly real, at least? Yes. Well, I am experiencing, it really affects the sound, the voice. But is it real? Was it here before 20 years ago? Probably not. Will it be here after it rusts completely, especially with the weather around? No. So then we don't consider it as real. We do consider it as a phenomenon. It is there. We experience it. But this is not the essence. So this is the intention here. And then from darkness. Darkness meaning ignorance and the mind. Mind is covered with layers upon layers upon layers from different lifetimes, different forms of lives that we may have experienced over who knows how many incarnations. So the prayer is to lead us from darkness of ignorance, meaning not recognize that we are that light, that pure consciousness, and from death to immortality. So it's not that we're asking to maintain this body forever. Maybe if you are very young and healthy and you think that you are beautiful and whatever you may think, you would like to maintain it forever. The gods, the deities, they are always young and beautiful and so on. But for us, in the physical body, there's decay. Lord Shiva is doing wonderful work. Dharma Raja, Lord Yama, the Lord of Death, is doing a fabulous job. White hair, glasses, teeth are falling out, everything is breaking down. Just a question of how long it takes and how graciously we can go through this process. So it is a process. So this is ephemeral, so it is changing moment by moment. But the immortality is the immortality of the soul, or immortality of our essence. And this is a prayer that you can adopt, even if you are not going through the longer prayers. It's a beautiful prayer, quite easy to memorize if you make the effort, and it's something that you can repeat daily. Yes, no, maybe? Anyone considering? Some heads are saying yes. Good. Now, I found it's a beautiful book. I don't think we were able to get it in the last 3 years. It is called Sivananda Daily Readings. There is a small version, but nothing close to it. So, like, very full of wisdom for every day of the year, actually. Swami Shivananda, like an essay about different aspects. So it is divided into certain sections, like Bhakti or Vedanta and so on. And as I was, looking and considering for tonight, I found something very beautiful, which is for the 29th of September. I was looking for 26th of July, but I found September. And it was just what I thought could inspire us. So this is a prayer that Swami Shivananda wrote. I want only thee, my Lord. When the senses hiss and drag me, come to me and crush them. When I am overworked and tired, come to me with thy peace and harmony. When my mind becomes turbulent, come to me with thy yoga power and still this boisterous mind. When desires and cravings attack me, come to me with thy light and grace. When fear overpowers me, come to me with thy courage. When avidya, ignorance, when avidya tries to overwhelm me, come to me with thy supreme wisdom. Thus saith Shivananda. So, we were talking in the last 2 evenings, there was a mention that Swami Shivananda is teaching, and we know it from life experience that coming to a genuine place of prayer, most of the time we need to be pushed to the wall, like to be in distress. Now, the level of distress that each one of us needs may differ. Yeah, someone can be on the verge of death before they feel distress and they are really praying and crying for help. Another one, just not being happy when waking up and to meet life, can be distressed enough to look for solutions and pray for some help. When we're looking and reading the prayer of Swami Shivananda, we can feel here it is an ardent and urgent and genuine prayer of a spiritual sadhaka, spiritual practitioner. Now, we don't know, at least I don't know when Swami Shivananda wrote it. Maybe he wrote it when he was already realized, and this was relating to any of us on the path to encourage us. Yeah, maybe he already overcame it and the prayer was answered and he reached the highest state of consciousness, and he is considered to be in India to realize the highest realization in a human body. So it's a Jivan Mukta, one that realized the highest while in the physical body, which is not so common. Many times it happens at the time of death or even after death, when spending time in other realms. But Swami Shivananda was considered to be a Jivan Mukta. So he is relating to the different moments. And any of us, I believe, not any, most of us, there's always exceptions. I would say that most of us that have been on this journey, on the inner journey for a little time, and even more so when we have been longer time, when we may recognize what Swami Shivananda is suggesting and praying for. Because anything can attack us at any moment, and this is why he's teaching us, and the teachers are teaching us to be very, very vigilant. It's like Swami Swapananda gave me many years back like a nice analogy. We're talking about sadhana, and you do sadhana, you do a TTC, it sustains you, holds your energy for a while, and then slowly, God forbid, but it may drop down, and before you know it, you are flat on the floor with your nose down. Okay, so it's like an airplane. So then Swamiji gave me this analogy. He said it's like an airplane. An airplane, when it is losing the fuel, not slowly, it is losing, and then boom, you crash on the ground. So as spiritual aspirants and seekers, it is important that we pray to recognize when we are out of the way or straying aside. Sometimes it may take days, weeks, months. Sometimes we may be going off for years and then being shaken and coming to a place of really crying and really praying to come back to our center. So he's relating, Swami Shivananda relates here to the senses, because any of the senses can drag us anywhere. Yes? You are not sure? Just go by the kitchen on Friday evening when Lalita Devi is baking some challah bread. I don't know, do they cook cakes in the kitchen these days? Not much, maybe birthday. But a challah bread, I think she's baking every Friday now. You just go by it, and where do you go? You were going down to the bay, and suddenly you find yourself somehow, going up by the kitchen, and then just looking like, what's waiting for you there? Yeah? Or you are hearing music, beautiful music, and you are pulled by the music. Or you are hearing the music coming from the bay, and your whole system is like shaken. Yeah? For some people, this is like bliss. For others, it is misery. But in both cases, it is the senses that are pulling us, right? So Swami Shivananda doesn't want to be mild about it. He says when the senses are hissing, it's like trying to catch us, crush them. Sometimes this is what is needed. It's like cutting through. Any of you have experienced being overworked and tired in the ashram setup or in the TTC time? No, everything is bliss. People probably at home are completely jealous, thinking you are having the best time of your life, just enjoying the beach, right? This is what people think. Until they come here and say, oops, am I in the right place? Of course you are. Otherwise, you wouldn't have the grace to come here. So when we are overworked, Swami Shivananda says, thy peace and harmony. So this is not easy, because when the body is so exhausted and all you can do is just be flat, on your back, and if it continues for a while, it affects your mind. Yes? This is why the prayer here to bring peace to the mind and harmony. Yes, if we need to rest, it needs to be given and so on, like not neglecting, taking care of, but bringing the challenge and the difficulty to God. Like He can take, He, she, it, in whichever we perceive it, He can take care of it. So here there is the prayer to still the mind. We're talking about stillness. We're talking about the prayer that eventually, if the prayer is deep enough, it brings us to the stillness of the mind. And even if we experience it just for a few moments or seconds or minutes, whatever time, just this experience by itself can give us a boost, profound boost for a long time. And sometimes when we are at the beginning of the journey, we are getting, getting all kinds of candies to pull us. Yes, like with children, luring us with all kinds of goodies. And sometimes when we start the spiritual journey, all kinds of nice experiences are there, and then you are looking for it, and it's not there, because then you really need to start working, going deeper. Like the honeymoon is over. And when the honeymoon is over, prayer is needed to support us on the journey. Desires, ever experienced desires? No? Yes? No? Yeah, they are coming. Now, the fact that the desire will be there, at this point we may not be able to control. But watching it, seeing it, give us the strength and the capacity. Here with the prayer, step back, see what it is. And if you ever worked with it, and I'm sure that most of you may have, if you observe the desire that is coming and you want to do it, like you are burning to do something, and for whatever reason it's not happening, then you take a few breaths, and even a few minutes are going by, and it's suddenly gone. Ever happened to you? Yeah, it disappears. Not always. So when it doesn't, and you need it to really move on, prayer is a tool. And then when fear overpowers, most of us live with fear of different kinds. Someone may be fearful of swimming, another one will be just like a fish, no problem. But they may be fearful of something else. But the basic fear in most of us is the fear of death, yeah? Because of our attachment to the physical body, to the mind, senses, all this combination, the fear of death, then attached to it are many, many other fears. So anything that seems to be intimidating the existence or even the comfort of this existence of the body, mind, and senses can bring a lot of fear. And it only takes to start observing it when it comes, and sometimes or many times, if you learn to recognize these emotions that are coming up and observe your body. Many times sensations in the body can actually reflect what we are experiencing. And then you have yet another tool. Okay, step back. Let me pray. Prayer helps me, then I'll pray. And just being in contact with the source, with the divine, is already giving us strength and courage. And then Swami Shivananda is praying, come to me with thy supreme wisdom. The wisdom is with the Supreme, it comes from the Supreme. Wow. So different ways of prayer within a tradition. It can be any tradition that you may belong to or you've been trained in. You know, like in the Christian tradition, you have different practices. In the Judaic tradition, in the native or any tradition, such each one has like a set of prayers and different things that they are doing within the tradition. So prayer is part of it. For us, the mantras themselves, you know, the prayers are in the mantras, but of course, and it includes the chanting. But and then we spoke about briefly about the silence, coming to a place where there is quiet. Just like yesterday, we went over know that I am God and so on, and eventually it is the be. You know, there is no knowing nothing else. There's the be, but it is, of course, it's a very high state of consciousness or deep one. Will it happen to us? It may happen any moment to any of us. We don't know. We don't know. The fact that you have been practicing long or very short, you don't really know, because most of us don't know what is in the reservoir of our subconscious and what kind of samskaras, tendencies are awakened from different lifetimes. Because if they were not there, none of us would be sitting here, either as a guest, teacher's trainees, student, karma yogi, brahmachari, sannyasi. If we didn't have these memories or tendencies in us, it wouldn't happen. So something like this experience of silence can happen anytime, and actually it can happen anywhere. Not just when you sit in the meditation room. Sometimes you are walking in the middle of the street and everyone is, you know, life is humming all around you, and suddenly you may have this experience of silence. It is there. It may be very short, but it is there. And then personal prayer. There is a story, I don't have time for it. So when you are going home, whether you are guests or you are the TTC students, see what you are taking with you as a daily practice. You can, if you look at the Kirtan book, on the first page, on the cover here, there is a description of the practices that we are doing here. Yeah, so you can see it, and then you can adapt few of them as a daily practice. If you can, after the silent meditation, do the Jaya Ganesha. Maybe you start repeating daily, or even once a week. Monday is good. The Shanti mantras, the mantras for peace. If you are very much involved in praying and hoping for peace in the world, adapt certain things that are close to your heart, so it will be easy for you to relate to it. And of course, you can repeat Om Namo Narayanaya. This takes care of them. So there are different suggestions here. Now, I wrote something here, when mind gets bored. Have you noticed after a while we are doing seemingly the same thing, and then the mind is just all over the place, not anymore focused on what we are repeating? So find a way to refresh yourself and go back into it, because it's very easy, especially if we are doing something repetitive. At some point, we are going up, 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 and then comes a plateau. Yeah? So when you feel that you are in a hard, pray to get over this hurdle and find a new inspiring way to continue with the practices. And it could be just like I mentioned at some point, the universal prayer, repeating so many times. But how many times have you stopped really to see what is in there? You are going back home now. Is there one or two things that you can make it as a practice in your daily life? Get over whatever, just read it and see what you can work with. Swami Shivananda, this is one way he's teaching also to work on different qualities. Like maybe every week you work on something and you relate to it. So whatever we learn, we are actualizing it in our life. The point is not to learn more and more and more, but to bring more and more of it into our life, and then it works. Otherwise, it just stays here. It's good impressions, but it is not going deep. So here I suggest the different chants, Shanti mantras, group prayers, the Mahamrityunjaya mantra that repeat after every activity. This is something that you can take into your life each time. If you are driving or you are driven, someone is driving you, or you are bicycling or in the airplane, just repeat it. On your birthday, repeat it. These are prayers, powerful ones, that can make an amazing shift. Now, the arti that we do in the evening, I suggest those of you who are not familiar, maybe you can record it one day, and then you can do it at home, because it is a prayer, it is a chant, and it is powerful purification. So when you go back home, the space where you are doing your practices, or it could be the whole house, or if you are working in any workplace before anyone comes so you don't get into trouble, you can just do arati and purify the place. These are very powerful practices. Okay, I think we'll finish with this chant. English. Can you read? Yes? Yes, no, maybe? So again, this is not in the chant book. Came from the same origin where the song that we did yesterday. So, but here in this song, it's really the prayer, not just for us. When we are praying, it is important then that we include. The more we are caring and including everyone and everything, then the relationship between us and the universe, or the creation, the divine creation, is getting more and more intimate and closer. Here. My hands are sweating. I'm not sweating. I'm so dry. So, call and response. Oh my Lord, please, oh my Lord, oh my Lord, please, oh my Lord, oh my Lord, please, oh my Lord. May all the beings in this world be happy. May all the beings in this world be happy. May all the beings in this world be happy. I can't hear you. Young and old, big and small, may all beings be happy. Young and old, big and small, may all beings be happy. Right and wrong, weak and strong, may all the beings be happy. Right and wrong, weak and strong, may all right and wrong, weak and strong, may all beings be happy. Right and wrong, weak and strong, may all beings be happy. Visible and invisible, may all beings be happy. Visible, invisible, happy, visible and invisible, may all beings be happy. Visible, invisible, this world, live in love. May all the beings in this world live in love. May all the beings in this world live in love. Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Mritangamaya Om Purnamada Purnamida Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Om peace, peace, peace. Om Bolo Sakru Sivananda Maharaj ki, Swami Hridayananda Maharaj ki, Om Namah Shivaya Hari Om.
Namah Shivaya. So we have a silent walk tomorrow, weather permitting. We're going to meet at 6 o'clock on the beach, and we'll go for a walking silent meditation. The satsang will be on the beach, and Kumari will lead the walk and will share inspiring yogic stories. In case the weather will not allow us to go for the walk, we will meet here at 6 o'clock for morning satsang. At 8 we have a yoga class for all levels on the bay platform, 9:45 brunch in the dining area, 11 ashram tour living from reception, 12 to 1:30 workshop with Pranava Chaitanya, creating yogic lifestyle at home. This is the third out of 4 sessions, and the locations in the Annapurna Devi house. 4 afternoon yoga class on the bay platform, 5:45 dinner, 7 the Gita Parayana in the main temple, and 8 evening satsang. Tomorrow night we have a special program. It is the monthly Q&A with Swami Hridayananda. So Swami Hridayananda is the Acharya, the spiritual director of this ashram, and once a month he is offering this Q&A satsang towards the end of the TTC, and it's an opportunity for everyone to ask questions on yoga practice, yoga philosophy, and the spiritual path. You can, we collect the questions in advance, so if you can write them on a piece of paper and bring them to reception, or you can give it to Swami Brahmananda, and we will read the questions in the evening satsangs to Swamiji. TTC morning class in the Bay. TTC morning class is in the Bay West platform tomorrow. And Essentials of Meditation weekend course starts on Friday. And it is with Pranava Chaitanya, 3-day meditation course. So you can join. You'll have a daily lecture and practice on meditation. So it's highly recommended. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We also have the Chair Yoga Teacher Training course starting on Sunday with Krishna Chaitanya. And this is a 5-day course. And we have online a new course starting on Sunday with Nyaneshwari Chaitanya. It is called 20 Important Spiritual Instructions. And it is a 10 weekly sessions course every Sunday from 5 to 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And on Tuesday, a week from today, we start a new course on the Bhagavad Gita, the heart of the Bhagavad Gita, Unlock the Meaning of Life and the Secret of True Happiness with myself. This is a 10 weekly sessions course every Tuesday from 6:30 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Now we're going to conclude with the final prayers.
Page 97. Om. 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 Trayambakam yajamahe sugandhim pushtivadanam urvarkamiva bandhanam mrityor mukshyamamritat. Om Trayambakam yajamahe sugandhim pushtivadanam urvarkamiva bandhanan mrityor mukshyamamritat. Om Trayambakam yajamahe sugandhim pushtivadanam urvarkamiva bandhanan mrityor mukshyamamritat. Om Sarvesham swastir bhavatu, Sarvesham shantir bhavatu, Sarvesham purnam bhavatu, Sarvesham mangalam bhavatu, Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, Sarve santu niramaya, Sarve bhadrani pashyantu makashe dukhabad bhavet, Asato ma satgamaya, Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, Mrityoremamritam gamaya. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Peace, Peace, Peace. And the universal prayer. O adorable Lord of mercy and love, salutation and prostrations unto Thee, Thou art omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscient. Thou art Satchidananda. Thou art existence, knowledge, and bliss absolute. Thou art the indweller of all beings. Grant us an understanding heart, equal vision, balanced mind, faith, devotion, and wisdom. Grant us with inner spiritual strength to resist temptations and to control the mind. Free us from egoism, lust, anger, greed, hatred, and jealousy. Fill our heart with divine virtues. Let us behold Thee in all these names and forms. Let us serve Thee in all these names and forms. Let us ever remember Thee. Let us ever sing Thy glories. Let Thy name be ever on our lips. Let us abide in Thee forever and ever. Om Bolo Satguru Sivananda Maharaj Ki. Shri Swami Vishnu Devananda Maharaj Ki. Om Namah Shivaya Hari Om Tat Sat. Please stand up for Arati.
Om Jai Jarati Vinna Vinayaka Vinna Vinayaka Shri Ganesha Jai Jarati Subramanya Subramanya Kartikeya Jai Jarati Venugopala Venugopala Venulola Papa Vidura Navanita